Hello, so today we'll be doing grade sixes and we'll be doing our subject is English. The lesson topic focus is adjectives. The length of our lesson will more or less be 30 minutes. The number of students is 20. The page we consulted for caps is 22. So we live in a multilingual country, and this means most students that do English as their home language do not speak English at home. I think we as English teachers need to be very considerate and understanding and have strategies to help students succeed in English. The South African classroom is a dynamic environment. The classroom brings together students with various personalities, abilities from different backgrounds. Being an effective teacher requires the implementation of creative and innovative teaching strategies to meet students' individual needs. The first strategy I chose for this lesson is visualization because I believe what we lack in language in speaking or understanding, we will see in visual images or videos for understanding. We believe that visualization brings dull academic concepts to life with practical and visual learning experiences. Visualization also helps students to understand how their schooling applies in the real world and helps them process information and use it to their advantage. Visualization could be done by displaying photos, audio clips, and videos and encouraging students with local field trips and classroom experiments. I just used posters on my lesson plan for the students to see. So I also use cooperative learning because I believe this encourages students of mixed abilities to learn from each other and not just so that the teaching setup is not just teacher focused. This promotes whole class or small group activities. We will discuss throughout. I believe the students get the opportunity to express their ideas and respond to others. The students will develop their self-confidence and enhance their critical thinking and communication skills, which are vital throughout life. So, with our grade sixes, the prior knowledge that grade six has about adjectives, we'll be doing adjectives, is they started adjectives in grade four and they did it in grade five. They started with adjectives like colors, for example. My learning objectives are by the end of the lesson, the learners should be able to analyze the given text, create their own sentences using and identifying adjectives, express their concerns and understanding regarding adjectives. The skills that they will learn is how to communicate effectively about adjectives they notice in the environment and the given text and solve the sentence problems given to them. The attitude or values changed will be the students will be able to communicate more in a more educational setups regarding basic sentences, gain analyzing skills, gain reading and speaking skills, learn about problem solving regarding adjectives and sentences. So they will gain analyzing skills because they do get text to analyze. They'll gain reading and speaking skills because they get the opportunity to speak with students and the teacher. The method that will be assessed is I will assess worksheets on adjectives and sentences that I will give them, and I will give them text and sentences to work through and solve. So my lesson introduction. My lesson will be introduced with discussions about what an adjective is and where do the learners see them in the classroom. For example, I will ask the learners to spot anything. They can spot like a shoe. Then I will ask them, what color is your shoe, your school shoe? It's black or it's brown. What color is the sky? It's blue. What does your table feel like? It feels cold. It feels hard. How does your shirt feels? It feels rough. I won't tell them anything. I would just want them to participate. Everyone must spot something, anything, a pencil. How does it feel? How does it smell? How does it taste? How does it look like? The reason I chose this is because I don't want to tell the students what they are going to learn. I want them to participate first, and then I'm going to tell them, you guys have just described nouns. You've just told me what various adjectives, so that sometimes students feel scared to participate because they feel they don't know, whereas they could just participate and then you tell them, hey, you just did this, you got this right, then they feel more confident. That's why I chose to not tell them. I just randomly told us to describe things in the environment. Okay, I will be using worksheets regarding problem solving skills and questions regarding adjectives. My example, the examples of focused questions is something like at the end, what is an adjective? What does an adjective do? An adjective is describing what it describes nouns. Okay, so we're done with the introduction. The lesson development. How are the learners guided throughout the lesson? The development of my lesson will have worksheets where learners have to underline the adjectives and circle the nouns it describes. The learners will have worksheets where learners will have to create their own sentences with adjectives as well. Enrichment activities will be advanced discussions and introduction about other types of adjectives. For students who do well or exceed, we move on to more adjectives, not just basic adjectives, so that they don't get bored. It's not dull, but they still get stimulated. Accommodations made for the learners needing special needs. Time at the end of the lesson will be for a group of learners or a specific learner that struggles one-on-one, or just that group, so that everyone feels comfortable and they don't feel bad for not understanding. So it will be a one-on-one or a small group. The homework I give an activity where they choose adjectives and make their own sentences. Why? Because this gives the students the independence and helps them remember and process the work. I believe in independent learner where you help and give the student, but at the end of the day, they do it and they learn it within their own way. Our first activity is this. Underline or highlight at least 10 adjectives in the passage below. Remember that adjectives describe nouns and pronouns. Again, here I tell them a reminder again what an adjective is after they just did the describing discussion where they describe the environment. Add interesting colors to the sentence by describing and giving more information. Okay, so read a story and circle the adjectives. Here's the story, Pat and Ben. It's very basic. It's just, it comes after we discussed, we do a very basic activity. Pat and Ben are good friends. They like to play at the big pond. Pat looks for little fish and Ben looks for green frogs. Ben grabs for a big frog, but it was too fast. The green frog quickly jumped into the cold water with a big splash. Pat told Ben he was too slow. Pat got mad at Ben. Then Pat felt sad. Next, the yellow sun came out and it got very hot. Pat and Ben sat down in the green grass to take a short nap. Then they ran back home to get a yummy snack. It was a fun day at the big pond. I will read this to students, but they have to do it independent. We do not discuss. I just read this, and I will try to emphasize the words that are adjectives. Then they have to circle all the adjectives, at least 10 they think, if more they can think. This is independent activity. Then the next independent activity is choose one adjective from each column and make your own sentence. Of course, I'll be guiding the students through that, but they will, after we have described what adjective, they will have to do. There's 5 columns and it has people, time, good feelings, bad feelings, and size. Within these 5, there are about 20 words each, and they choose one specific word, and then they have to make a complex sentence, not just a basic. Like the first is a good feeling is brave. You shouldn't just give a sentence, the girl is brave. It should be the girl was brave at the party because she was being chased by the dogs and she helped the small baby get away. Why I encourage bigger sentences? Because it helps with creative writing and helps the students think critically as well, not just basic words. So with people, they are adorable, loving, bright, beautiful. Time, late, soon, brief, ancient, modern. Good feelings, comfortable, clever, courageous, determined. Bad feelings, depressed, awful, terrified. Size, enormous, moderate, miniature. Why these big words? So that it can help them think and create creates better sentences, not just basic sentences, and they do this on their own as well. Then the next is circle the adjectives in the sentence given below and underline the nouns that the adjectives describe. Again, I'll be guiding them, but they do it on their own. Why I added this is to challenge them a bit, although it's still independent work and I'm still there, so they don't get bored with just basic sentences. And so I told them to circle the adjectives in the sentence given below and underline the nouns. This one we'll be doing together because it's a new concept of nouns and adjectives, not just adjectives. So I will start with, that tree is now green because I watered it daily. Now ask them, circle the what is the noun? The noun is the tree. How is the tree? It is green because I watered it daily. So the green tree, the adjective is green. Then we circle the adjective, underline the noun. 2. The man was very creepy and scary on Halloween. What is the noun? The man. How is the man? He is very creepy. So we circle the adjective and we underline the man. 3. I was ashamed that I did not pass the difficult test. What is the noun? The test. How was the test? It was difficult. What is the noun again? I. How did you feel? You felt ashamed. We circle the ashamed and difficult because this describes. My friend is anxious for his birthday. What is its noun? My friend. How does your friend feel? He's anxious because of his birthday. We circle anxious. I learned a lot about the blue ocean. What is blue? The ocean. So we underline the ocean and it's blue. Okay. Complete each sentence with a description below the adjective. Descriptive adjective from the table. Take note that an adjective describes how a noun looks, feels, sounds, smells, or tastes. Here we describe what an adjective is again, but we expand it by telling it's not just a descriptive word. It describes looks, sounds, feelings, smells, or tastes so that they get a better understanding of what an adjective does. So there's sentences where they do it on their own again, but with guidance. The grass in my yard is and then there's a table with yummy, greener, blue, warm, hard, cold, soft, scary. The students will have to critically think what grass cannot be cold, it cannot be scary. So the most proper adjective would be greener than yours. It's a comparison. So because it's fixed adjectives and they don't just get to write their own, they have to search for the most proper, and it helps with sentence structure as well. I felt in the winter time. Again, we look. The most accurate is I felt cold. How do you feel in winter? You feel cold. The sky is very beautiful. What is the sky? It is blue. Again, this is very practical examples to help the students understand. And then there's a memo and the rubric for them at the end as well. And this will be for marks. So the reason why I started with a discussion where we all just discussed, I asked the students to describe what they see, where it can be the shoes, the sky, their stationery, books, how it feels, how it smells, is because I didn't want to scare them off. I wanted them to participate and not know what they're doing so that they feel capable and I can do this. I know what we're doing. Then later I tell them, you guys just told me what an adjective is, so you guys know what it is, you can do it. It gives them confidence and independence. So then later from discussion, group discussion, classroom, we work to independent work where they get to underline and circle adjectives, they get to choose and spot adjectives, they get to write their own complex sentences regarding adjectives. We start basic and then we go out a bit more challenging, but still within their range, because when they get the confidence from what an adjective is, they get to do it alone. Then when they just get comfortable, they get again a bit of with a noun. It describes a noun. Again, they get reminded what an adjective is. They get opportunity to write their own sentences, to spot adjectives, and I think it's very fun for them because they get the opportunity to express themselves. So I used the group work and I used visualization to help me with this. And it's a traditional setup. I didn't use any online. I used posters and everything. So the students get the opportunity to sit in class, to interact with their friends, interact with me, and we learn together, and they get the opportunity to develop and learn as we go through the stages.